over 300 women at this social, right? Not nearly enough for the number of men who are there. Excuse me, not nearly enough men for the number of women who are there. So a lot of these women are going to come right back and keep trying.
You got all these beautiful girls, and now they think you're a star.
Now they're gonna really think I'm a star. Sure. Anyway, cheers. This is my first time here.
Ready for round 2 tonight?
I'm going for it. You're gonna be taping everything. You better edit this sucker. And this is working out pretty good. I have to go all the way to the end here. Come make my way back around. Yeah, do you know what? I didn't expect this many women. I really didn't. I expected a lot, but not that many. You'll get a good feel from the women. You're gonna walk out. Trust me when I tell you this, you'll walk out with a very, very enjoyable experience. I don't know if you can mic this, but this is badass.
He met a lot of women. I hope he found the one today.
All right, guys, welcome to our after Thanksgiving Monday night webcast here with the wonderful Dina. Dina will be talking about all things international dating, especially with Eastern Europe, but we talk about Latin America and Asia as well. So we're going to be talking about all kinds of fun things tonight. So Dina, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Actually,
Hi,
Dina
guys.
should be thanking me for being here because it's really
Thank you, John.
her
Being
show
here.
more than mine anymore.
Yeah.
So she's here. Anna's still getting back from the tour that just ended in the Ukraine. And I heard that went very well. We got lots of happy guys that are coming back. So really looking forward to talking to all of them. I like to try and call them all and just see how the experience was. And yeah, and same with China. So that tour just ended as well. So we have all the guys coming back from those two were the final tours of 2019. That's it.
Yay.
No more group tours the rest of the year. And we only have a month left anyway. Then it all starts up again in January, guys. So 2020, that's got to be your year, right? Let's make it happen this time. A lot of you guys, I want to congratulate you because you made it happen this time in 2019. A lot of you went over on our tours and it was great. We had sold out tours this year. We had all kinds of stuff going on. Really, really busy. And kudos to you guys for not being the keyboard Romeos and just writing and doing correspondence. You actually went. And we're going to be talking about a little bit of correspondence tonight and a smart way to go about doing it, okay? So we're going to be going through a slideshow with an acronym, SMART, for a way to do correspondence. So that, I'd rather see you guys go over and meet the women in person instead of just doing the letters or the phone calls. Many of you know Dina, you've done phone calls with Dina and whatnot, and that's great, and it's wonderful, and she's happy to help you. But I think even you, Dina, would like to see them go over instead of just doing the calls.
Absolutely. Highly recommend just to go over and see the girl. Yes. If you want to write, just don't be like, how you say it, Romeo keyboard.
Keyboard Romeo.
Keyboard Romeo, just
Yeah.
maybe write a letter or so and just go and see her there. That's more
Absolutely.
important.
That's what we need. All right, guys. So I also we're really excited about the seminars coming up in the next 2 weeks, right? These will be the last seminars of the year as well. The 2020, at least the first half of 2020 or so, will be up here shortly. But we only have 2 seminars left in December, and the first one is going to be on December 7th in Oklahoma City, and guess who's going to be doing it? Yeah.
Yeah, finally, guys, December 7th,
one.
this upcoming Saturday, me and Anna, we're going to be hosts in Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. I don't know if
Yay.
Oklahoma City is ready for you and Anna. to tell you the truth. I just don't know if that city's really ready for you guys
Guys,
yet.
we are coming,
But
so
you're coming.
we'll be more than happy to see you there, and you can ask us any questions about international dating and marriage, of course.
That's fantastic.
So
Guys,
that's a
if
great
you,
event.
If you could make it to go see Anna and Dina, it'll be, I can guarantee it's going to be a fun seminar. They'll put on a great seminar, but you're also going to get a lot of really good advice. You're going to get some great seminar-only discounts, and knowing these two, you'll probably get better discounts than you would if I was there. And you'll have some wonderful food, again, probably better than if I was there. So it will be a really fun time in Oklahoma City. So if any of you guys are anywhere near the Oklahoma City area this Saturday from 11 to 3, then check it out, okay? You'll see where it is on the website as far as the location. You can call in, talk to Dina. She'll get you all
Yes,
set up.
absolutely, guys.
RSVP and go see
Cannot
her.
wait to see you there.
It'll be a lot of fun. Might even be a little bit of vodka there, knowing you never know. You never know. But
Who
we'll see.
knows?
I didn't say that. Shh, yeah. Then the following week, okay, and for some of you guys who maybe can't make that one for whatever reason, but you're close enough to come see us in Dallas, because we will be in Dallas the following Saturday on the 14th of December, and then on the 15th of December we'll be in Houston. So that'll be Tanya and I will be at those two seminars. We love going to Texas. You guys are sweethearts. You're great, wonderful guys out there in Texas. So looking forward to seeing you all there. See how I got the y'all in there? Y'all. They do that in Oklahoma City a lot too. Got the y'all. Yeah. So we're gonna see y'all out there in Texas. Hey, I lived in Texas for a while, so I get to do that. For those of you that live in Texas, you may know the little town called Hereford, Texas. But I lived in Hereford, Texas. So in a way, I'm a Texan. Yeah.
Cowboy.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there long enough for the cowboy part to take too much, but I did live there, and I loved it. It was great, but I was really young when I was there. All right, and we're going to get to your questions tonight as well, too. We got lots of questions coming in, and we will get to your questions. And I also want to share with you at some point during the show, we're going to share with you a short clip from a recent wedding from one of our clients, well, two of our clients, obviously, a man and a woman, who just exchanged their wedding nuptials and their wedding vows in Odessa, Ukraine. So really, really cool.
Oh, so excited.
Great,
to see
great
it.
couple, David and Anna. And, you know, it's really neat because David was in the office here and he was talking with us and sharing with us his experience before he went over and met Anna. And, you know, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Wonderful guy. And to see them now married, that's what this is all about, Dina, right?
Yes,
I mean,
of
that's what we
course.
do. So, all right. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of your questions. Then we're going to get into our presentation tonight about correspondence, and then we'll get into the video here a little bit later too. So lots of fun things going on here, guys. Oh, and one other thing, and I'll bring this up again a little bit later, but don't forget to vote for us on the iDate Awards, right? We've been nominated again this year. We've won it several years, and we've been nominated again this year, and we would love to win it again. For Best International Romance Company, I believe it is, or Tour Company, and also Best International Matchmaker for Maria. So guys, it's really, really easy to do. All you have to do to enter the contest is one of two things. Either go to any of the women's profile pages and you'll see where it says win a free romance tour. Click on that and it will take you to the site where it explains exactly how to go and vote and then send in your confirmation so you'll be automatically easily entered into the contest. If you would rather not do that and you still want to have an entry to win the tour, you can actually just send a 3x5 postcard with the information that tells you exactly how to do that right into us, and we will enter that as well. Matter of fact, we just got a few postcards in today, and that's wonderful. So guys, I would love either way, whether you vote, that's fine, or you want to send in a postcard. We just love giving away a tour every year. We do that once a year, and I love calling the gentleman who won. It's like, hey, you just won a free tour, you know, of your choice. So it's a really, really cool thing. So take a look at the website, look at all the different rules and everything there. It's all spelled out. It's very easy. Not difficult. It'll take you about 5 minutes to do, and then you're entered to win. And guys, if you're already signed up for a tour and then you happen to win this tour, we'll still honor that, right? So don't worry about that. So don't think, well, I might win, so I'm not going to sign up. Don't worry about it, because if you do, you are that lucky one, then we'll still go ahead and give you the free tour, even though you're signed up. All right? All right. So let's get into a couple questions here, Anna, or Dina. Oh my gosh. And then we'll keep moving forward.
From James, when are we going to see video footage of the Shenzhen tour that finished last Wednesday?
Well, you guys are tough. That tour hasn't even totally finished yet. We have some guys that are doing, the 14-day version of that thing. So let's let that tour actually totally finish, and then we will have the video probably in another couple weeks. Takes a little bit of time to get it and to process it and get it up. But here's some footage of, I believe, the last tour that we did in Shenzhen, right? But we did get some photos recently of that tour, and the couples look fantastic. I mean, some really, really good pictures of guys out there dating and doing some stuff from that particular tour we just did in China. Sandy, he's such a great guy. I love that guy. That guy that you just saw with the blonde curly hair, it's got to be one of the most, that guy right there, the blonde curly hair, got to be one of the most optimistic guys out there that I've ever met. Wonderful, wonderful gentleman. And no matter where he goes, no matter what's happened, he always has a smile on his face and is doing well. And that's why he's done and been so successful in life and has done so well, I think, because he just has that mindset. And you go very far with a mindset like that. All right. Next question.
So from Jeff, how is the K1 visa affected? I think it was this child. K1 visa affected if the lady has a minor child?
Okay. So actually it's really easy, because if she has a child, the child will attach to the mother's K1 as a K2, right? It's called a K2 visa, but it mirrors the mother's K1 visa. So everything that the mother's going through, the child will automatically go through. You just fill out an extra form for it, and that's it. So it's really not complicated, and the child will just come over with the mother, and everything that happens to the mother happens to the child simultaneously. K1, K2 visa, easy, easy, easy. All right? Not a big deal. Okay.
From Coaster, how do I answer a lady that asks me if I'm going to see other women? I'm actually in contact with several women from the Davao and don't know how to answer that.
Well, I'm sorry. What was the question? How do I answer a lady that asks me?
If the girl asking a guy, are you going to see other girls?
Well, you
If
answer
you're
that one,
going to-
Dina.
Yeah,
So what do you
all
think
the
about that?
time. So I said it's okay all the time. So I never even see the girls asking the questions, because actually she probably knows that even that you're going to see other ladies. But just say I'm going to see some friends. You know, you don't need to really say that, yeah, I'm going to like interview other ladies. But, you know, I think you're going to be okay. So what do you think, John?
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, I'm going with a foreign affair because it's safe, and I'll probably meet
Yeah.
a few other people, but I'm really coming over. I would like to meet you. Obviously, we've been talking. We have this correspondence, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing you. But I do feel safe going with the company, and that's one of the reasons I'm using them. And, you know, there's probably, you know, a few people they may introduce me to, but I want to meet you. And if it's meant to be, then it will be. And if it's not, then it won't. And it doesn't matter if you meet a million other men and I meet a million other women. It's really not going to make a difference. If it's meant to be between us and that chemistry is there, then it's going to happen. Because you are adults and you are dating. And if she has a huge issue with you seeing someone else when you haven't even met her yet, then there may be a problem there. There may be a trust issue there, or insecurity issue that you might want to think twice about, because that might just get worse as you go. All right, let me do a couple panels here on our presentation tonight, and then we're going to get into the video of our married couple as well, and then also back with your questions. So I like to call this SMART, a common sense guide to correspondence, right? Yeah, I know. So it's, you know, the acronym. I love the acronym. All right. So we're going to start here with the first panel, and SMART. So S for search, guys. Search. You know, there is a search engine function on our site where you can put in the different parameters that you are interested in, like age, like children or no children, like height, weight, all kinds of different parameters that you can search by on the site, just like any other site out there, right? So you don't have to wait for, you know, intro letters to come to you, because intro letters are just a sign that the woman may be interested, right? But you don't know for sure just because you get an intro letter that woman's interested. Those are mainly sent by matchmakers that work with us. It says right on the site. We tell you exactly how that works. And yes, they're trying to help the women. This is a premium dating site, and we are trying to help everyone come together and everyone meet. And the intro letters is one way that we can do that for both the women and the men. But I would not just rely on intro letters by any stretch of the imagination. Wouldn't you like it if a man was
You know
searching
what?
and
I've
looking
been
for you?
thinking about it right now, and I like that intro letters because from my perspective. So what if he missed me for some reason? You know, my profile, and here's my letter, and now he see my picture. Oh, look at. Oh, I like that girl.
That's true.
So yeah, I think I like it, that idea. So
That's true, but if
you
it-
might didn't see me on the side because there's other beautiful ladies there. But
Absolutely.
maybe you like my letter and you see my picture, so now you like me too. So I don't
like
even
that.
know how my husband see me. Maybe he got intro letter from me.
He
I
might
don't
have
even
gotten
know.
one back
you
then.
know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But he might
should
have
ask
searched
him.
as well. But you can search, guys, too. You don't have to just rely on the intro letters. Like Dina, says, it does it does help, right? Because if he missed you or something like that, I get that. But also doing a search is a wonderful thing too. You do your own search. You find the women that you think you're interested in, and you write to her first. And then see if there's a reciprocal interest or not. She may not be interested. You might get the no, I'm sorry, not interested letter back. That's going to happen from time to time. But she might be interested. I think she might be pleasantly surprised that you wrote her first. All right, because this is a premium dating site, and we do offer support for both the men and the women. And we want you both to feel comfortable about corresponding and ultimately meeting, especially with the language barriers. You're helping guys all the time, right? With the
Yeah,
language barriers and things like
absolutely.
that. And that's
Yeah.
really important too. All right. And then we have moderation. All right. And that's important too, guys. Everything in moderation. Okay. And you want to do this, with almost like a budget, plan with a meeting in mind and what you want to spend. So you just don't go off the deep end with correspondence, whether it's on some other sites with chat or with correspondence or with phone calls or whatever it is. You do want to do things in moderation. You want to ask specific questions, I think, in your correspondence, right? I mean, it shouldn't all be about how, it was rainy today and the sun never came out, or, I don't know, just, stuff like that that's not so important, but a little deeper things, fun things. You don't want to make it sound like a job interview all the time, but you do want to, get to the heart of the matter, to the point as quickly as possible. And so don't endlessly write or call, right? Be smart about the correspondence, okay? And especially because we want you to meet in person. So plan your correspondence carefully. That's really, really important. All right, we're gonna do one more and then we're gonna get to some questions and then we'll finish up the slides here a little bit. But action plan, guys, this is really, really important. Have a plan. There's an old saying, a girl loves a man with a plan.
Absolutely, yeah.
So have a plan. Know what you want and then when you want to execute it. And that when you want to execute is really important. If you're thinking, I really want to meet a wonderful woman in Russia or Ukraine or China, wherever, and you start doing all these things, but you're not ready to go for 3 years, that doesn't make much sense, because what you're doing now probably won't last for 3 years. The women you're writing to now may be married by the time you get over there, right? So you want to have a plan, you want to know a time frame when you want to execute it, and then make a commitment to visit them. Don't just be a pen pal. We want you to make that commitment to go over and meet these women. Guys, you won't hear this from virtually any other site out there. Most of them want you to stay on the site forever. They want you to be that keyboard Romeo forever. We're asking you, we're telling you that you're much better off going over and meeting in person. And we offer you several vehicles as well. So what's your vehicle? What works best for you? Is it the group tour? Is it the individual club? Is it the executive? Is it something else that you need? We can help you. We're very, very flexible. We have a lot of different vehicles that are designed for different men, because every man has a different preference on how he wants to go about doing this. So we have these different vehicles, from very, very, very personalized executive service, right, to a group tour, right, and then all things in between. So whatever you think is going to work best for you, we have it, and we're willing to help you figure out how to go about doing it. And when do you want to go? We talked about that. Have a plan on when you want to go. And if you do write before you go, use the correspondence to help set meetings with the women you want to meet during the tour or the individual clubs. You know, when you're writing, tell them, hey, I'm going to be there on January 20th. And, you know, I'd love to meet you at the social. Oh, if you can't make the social, I'd love to meet you individually. And just put that right out there so that they know that you have a plan, that you're coming over. Your stock will go way up in their eyes when they realize that, oh my gosh, he's coming over here, instead of the guys that will never go over. They'll write and they'll act like they're going to go over, but they never will, right? If someone's writing to you,
Absolutely.
wouldn't you like it better if you knew when he was coming so you
Yeah.
could actually meet him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never really correspond for long. I think I got a couple letters, but it was like, I'm coming, you know, see you at the social. So
That's what you
I
want.
went there, yeah.
Yeah. All right. And remember, guys, you don't have to even write if you're going to go on a tour. You really don't have to. I didn't. So it's not something that you have to do. But if you do it, don't overdo it. Okay? Just keep everything in moderation. All right. Let's get into another question.
Okay,
here.
from Mark. Hello, John and Dina. Hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving. I have already started looking at airfare for Cebu next August. Is it a good idea to bring a gift for the lady when you first meet? I think nothing bad to bring in gift for her, but like nothing like big. Maybe small gift representing your state, or like really small, something tiny from you.
Yeah,
So-
like when I go abroad from here in Arizona, I'll either bring like candy that's
Cactus.
made here, like cactus candy or C's candy, because that's kind of a big thing here. You know, but cactus candy. I bring
Yeah.
that like a box. It has a lot of pictures of Arizona on it, so they can see the different scenes that are really cool here. That kind of stuff is really neat. And they, you know, but
Yeah.
if you get there and you buy something right in the store there and give it to her, that's not quite as impressive. Or even flowers. Flowers are nice, but it's even more thoughtful to put some thought into the gift before you go of what she might be impressed with, you know, that says something about you and where you live.
Yeah.
So, But, you know, I'd be a little bit careful, too, about buying
yeah,
airfare.
nothing personal like perfume. Do not do that. So
No?
yeah, no perfumes.
No perfume? All right.
No.
Too early for that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I would also be a little bit careful about booking too far in advance, because if you're not going until August, we're only in December right now, sometimes you'll pay
He's
more.
just looking. He's not
Just
really
looking.
booking.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't book
But it's
just
good
yet.
to look. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
From Dean, hi Dean and John. I tried to vote, but it keeps saying my email is temporary. Anyway, if I wanted to go to social, do I have to book in advance, or can I turn up on a day and sign up? Cheers.
Okay, on the first part of that, you know, that was, I think my wife, believe it or not, she was trying to vote for us, which was nice of her. And I think she got the same thing for an email that she had for about 10 or 12 years. So there might be an issue they're having with their site. We'll have to ask and check with them and see, because I know that email that she had was certainly not temporary. So I'm not sure why that's saying that. So we'll have to ask about that. So you might want to try it again. We have plenty of time here, so you might want to try it again in another few days and see if they'll have that taken care of. I think what they're trying to do is to stop people from just, you know, spamming it like crazy, which you don't want to do, you know. So you really only want to vote once. However, the tour is, if you win the tour, it is transferable. So if you had your friends and family vote for you or vote for themselves and they won, they could actually give you the tour. So it's kind of cool. So just keep that in mind. What was the other
So
question?
in a social, if you want to go to social, do I have to book in advance, or can I turn up on a day and sign up? Cheers.
Yeah, we'd much rather that you book in advance, because there are certain things that we have to comply with, IMBRA and other things like that. And it's much easier for us if you apply in advance so that we can have all that paperwork done, so that we know exactly what's going on when you get there and there's no confusion. So even if it's 2 or 3 days in advance, that would still be okay. But you know, a week or two would even be better. So we don't do everything last minute. So if you know for sure that you're going, don't wait till the last minute. Let us know, but give us as much notice as you can. Okay.
From another Dean, this is Dean 29 from Littleton, Colorado.
Littleton, Colorado.
What is a recommended number of dates per day on a tour? Is 3 dates per day enough? Too many? Thank you for this awesome webcast.
What do you think, Dina?
You're welcome. Yes, I think it's too much. You won't even remember a girl next day probably if you have it 3 dates a day.
3 dates a day?
Yeah.
Come on. You can do 3 dates a day.
Up to 2, I think.
That really is a personal preference. I've seen some guys that can do 7 to 8 dates a day.
Oh, wow.
Dina, I'm telling you, they're
my
doing
God.
7 to 8 dates. Now they're busy. They're, oh my, I can't talk. I got another date. No, I got another
I
date.
don't know. Yeah, I don't
it's
like it
crazy.
because first time I met my husband, we've been talking for 4 hours or 5
See,
hours.
that's the problem.
So
because
how
what
are you going to
happens
do
is
that?
when you're out on a date with a beautiful woman like you
Yeah.
and things are going well, you don't want that date to end. And so what's happened sometimes is guys will get so many dates set up ahead of time that they'll start standing up those women. They don't even call to cancel the date. They just stand them up,
Yeah,
which is
and
not
other
good.
girl will wait. I mean, that's not
so
nice.
so you got to be careful, right? So you don't want to set up too many dates, but I think 3 dates a day you can do. You start doing more than that, you got to be a little bit more careful. But I'm telling you, Dina, I've had guys that have done 7, 8 dates in a day, and they do it.
Oh, God.
And it's not easy, but it's that energy level. I don't have the energy level to do that. But if you've got that energy level, it's possible that you can do it. And I've seen it. But most guys will do anywhere between 1 to 3 dates a day. And it just depends how long that date is. Sometimes the date might only last 45 minutes. It's just not going so quick, so great. And you both just kind of ends. And then sometimes you might want to go hours like you did with AJ.
Yeah, I
right?
think 1 date for lunch and another date for dinner. That's 2 dates. Nobody will come for breakfast. I don't think so.
Well, there's been dates for
They have to
breakfast.
work,
It
you know.
happens. You'd be surprised.
If it's like a weekday, they have to work. If it's Saturday or Sunday, they have to sleep.
Usually, if it's a breakfast date, it's usually someone you've already met, and it's a second or third date, and she's
okay.
trying to make a special effort to meet you, and maybe she has to work, and that's the only time she can meet. But I've seen that. But you're right. Usually, if it's a first-time date, definitely not going to be breakfast. Probably going to be a lunch or dinner type thing. That's a really personal question, and if you got the energy,
Yeah.
I could tell you some stories, guys.
Good
about some-
memory.
Yeah.
I won't remember.
Well, we had one
Dates.
client. His name was Ray. This was years ago, but he made nicknames for every woman. He had these little funny little nicknames, right? And so he would remember. And he had this huge list, and he was moving them on the list and everything. And I mean, oh my gosh, it was just crazy. But he was like the Energizer Bunny, and he would just go like crazy. I don't know. Maybe he drank a lot of coffee. All right.
No, he's 29. Probably will be okay,
Right.
He's from that. From McKissick. For the K2 visa, must one prove that the birth father is not in a picture? It's a K1, I think.
Well, no, the K2 is with the
Oh,
child.
for child. Okay.
And it used to be that the United States required that the United States required that the father give permanent permission for the child to come over, right? And from my understanding, that they don't do that any longer. But I think it's really, really important that you actually get the permission from the father if the father is still in the picture. Now, sometimes the father has not been in the picture since birth. And if that's the case, then she just needs to document that. But if the father is involved, let's say the father is even giving child support, which unfortunately doesn't happen very often, but if that's the case, then you're going to have to deal with that father just like you would if you were going to marry someone in California and move to New York, right? How would you deal with the family there? It's the same thing here. Maybe the child goes back and spends summers or something like that, but you're going to have to figure something out. But I can tell you in all the years I've been doing this, usually isn't that much of a problem because unfortunately the father is just usually not involved in the picture. So, and the mother, when she joins the service, knows that ultimately she may be moving. So if the father's really involved and the child's really young, then she normally won't join a service like this because she's not willing to
Yeah,
move.
that's what I've been thinking, that if she join our service, because we have a foreign guy, so she's been thinking she has to move aboard.
Right.
So, and she's absolutely sure it's her ex-husband or ex-boyfriend.
Right.
He'll be okay with that. So.
So yeah, I would definitely get, if the father's at all involved, get the permission from him so that there's never any problems down the road. That's the best way to go about it. But I don't think that would be an issue. And if you come across that and you need more help, please give us a call and we can have you talk with the immigration attorney and she'll give you a lot more advice, up-to-date advice, exactly how that works. Okay.
So from LC, do I need to be in the US when applying K1 visa? I plan to stay in Ukraine for an extended period of time.
Cool.
I think everything online now, so he doesn't need to be in US.
No, I don't think you need to be in the U.S. I think you can apply for it. You do apply for it in the U.S., but you're doing it all here. Your package starts here, and I think you can have it mailed in or online. Now, I think you still have it mailed in because you're going to be mailing in some documentation and stuff like that, unless you're just uploading it. But it's basically, yes, you can stay in the Ukraine, and yeah, you're fine.
You just have to, all paperwork will be done. I think it needs to be done from here because you probably will have to, fill out a lot of paperwork. So
Yeah, but any
If
paperwork
it's-
you need to fill out, you can actually download and fill out from the Ukraine. You may have to mail it from the Ukraine to get it here with all the documents that you need, but you can probably do it from the Ukraine.
So from Coaster, wow, thank you, John and Dina. That's perfect. You're welcome.
Okay, hold on 1 second before we get to these other questions. I want to go ahead and do a couple more of these slides here. Okay. So, remember, we had, let's go back and review. Okay, we're reviewing. We had SMART, right? SMART. Then we had for S, search. And I like the idea of searching. Dina kind of likes the idea more of the intro letters because she won't get missed.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's good too. All right. And then M for moderation, right? So everything in moderation. I love the picture here, by the way. You want a budget. You don't. You certainly don't want to spend more than what you would spend on a tour, right? Just doing correspondence and stuff like that. You want to go over and meet these women in person. That's important. So moderation. Then the action plan. Have a plan. And execute it, right? So think about that. Then, now we're going to talk about R, readiness, right? Do not start writing until you're ready to execute your plan, right? You really don't need to start writing 6 months or a year before your trip. You really don't need to do that, right? I would say maybe, a couple months at the most before the trip. But you really don't have to start that far out. And know when you are ready, right? Get your deposit in, know what tour you're going to go on, have that plan, create your action plan, and then execute it. I mean, if you're really serious about this, we're at the end of 2019. If this is something you've been thinking about doing and you haven't done it yet, then this is a great time to really start thinking about it. And 2020 is right around the corner. If you look, our whole tour schedule for all of 2020, whether it's Asian, Latin, or Eastern Europe, is all up. It's been up now for several months. And so you can look and you can say, okay, I'm thinking August of next year. That looks good. I might be able to go on that one. And then start planning for it. Put the deposit down for it. It's just $475. But if you put that $475 deposit down, it will give you that motivation you may need to actually go through with it and do it. Right? All right. And then T for together. It's a together thing, guys. It takes a community to create a successful relationship. Right, you got Dina here helping, you got myself, you have all the matchmakers from all around the world. We're all helping for that one common goal, which we're going to watch a video about in just a little bit because that's what happened with Donald and Alla, right? I mean, we helped them come together and then they actually got married just recently in Odessa. We're going to watch that in a minute. But, obviously it was them that made it happen. They're the ones that made it happen. But in some small way, our team helped to facilitate it, and that's what's really cool about this, because we are here to help. We have an entire team of matchmaking pros that are ready to help you, right? So, and don't jump the gun, on your decisions. Tell us your plans. If maybe you're writing to someone and you're saying, I'm going to go meet her. I'm going to go buy an airline ticket. I'm going to go over and just meet this one woman. You might want to give us a call first. We can give you some good advice about some mistakes that you might be making or some mistakes that you can avoid if you just call us and tell us what you're doing. Because there are some things you should do first. Like if you haven't talked to her yet on the phone with Dina maybe, call her up. Talk to her before you go. Make sure that, she's actually going to be there when you get there. Right? You got to make sure it's all planned out right, and we can help you do that. And then God forbid, if you need a backup plan once you're there, our staff can help with that too, right? So, let us know what you're doing and we can definitely help. And yeah, like I said, just contact us, we'll help you. All right. And in conclusion to this little SMART presentation, when looking at correspondence, do it smart. S-M-A-R-T. Yeah. Put yourself miles ahead of everyone else to find that special someone. Hey, took a long time to put this thing together, but you know, guys, we're just trying to help. We're just trying. This is common sense stuff, right? It just is. Look, when you look at something like this, do it in moderation, do it with a plan, and you'll be much more successful, right? All right. All right. Let's go ahead with the next question.
All right, from Costa again. Okay, this has been asked many times, I'm sure, but the ladies I want to meet are 25, 27 years younger than me. They contacted me first. I have no experience here. Any tips, advice on being successful? So, how old are you, for one? So, and I just ask yourself question: are you going to be able to keep up with 27 years old?
Well, he's saying they're younger, 25 years younger than he
Oh,
is.
20, okay, okay. That depends too. So if you're like, for example, like 70 and she's, 45, that's okay. But if you're like, 50 and she's, 25, I mean, that's, you have to
23.
be careful. You need to make sure something there. So like a chemistry or, similar lifestyle. Because if she want to go party and you just want to stay home, will be a problem there. So just, we not recommend to be like age difference, more than 20-year age difference, right?
I'll agree with that.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think Tina's spot on there. There's an old saying, you got to have the game to cover the spread, right? So if you're a really, really energetic 25-year-old and you're ready to do everything you did 25 years ago, and you want to marry someone who's 25 and you think you can do that, and that's going to make you happy, it's going to make her happy, and the chemistry's there, that might work. But that's a rather large age difference. You got to make sure that you're both ready for that kind of thing. Statistically, once you start getting much over 20 years, the risk factors go up. So just keep that in mind, and sometimes you got to be careful what you wish for, because you might get it.
Yeah, and girls are different. So some 25-year-old ready to have family, kids, and all have that family, but some just want to travel and, still have maybe go to school. So they're all different. You make sure, in the same page with her.
Absolutely. It's that chemistry. It's things in common, like Dina said. It's all those things. I will say that I'm not sure where he's looking, but I will say in the Philippines, you can stretch that age limit a little bit. The women are definitely open to a little bit of a larger age difference in the Philippines, and they seem to be more used to it and adapt to it much better, from what I've seen, at least with the women that I've seen here that have married American men with larger age differences, and it seems to work very well. So I'm not sure where you're looking, but you might have a little more of a buffer if it's in the Philippines.
Yeah, it depends. If you want a kid, so if she's under 40 years old, she will have a kid. But if she's over 40 years old, she's probably not going to have any kids. So it depends. So from Larry. If a man sends a letter to a woman, first, how does the woman see the man's profile? And second, is the reply written by the woman or an agent?
So when you send a letter to her, then she's contacted by the staff, and she's sent the letter, or she's dictated the letter, or somehow she's given the letter so that she can see, and then she will then give her reply, again, by the same method, whether it's by social media, by her coming into the office, or by her just dictating it back to the staff on the phone. Then they're going to translate it, then they're going to send it back to you. So obviously they're helped because it goes through the office, but the woman is involved in the correspondence going back and forth. And if she wants to look at your profile, she needs to come into the office. She just can't get on the internet anywhere like a lot of the free sites out there, and just look at all the different profiles, and she'll come into the office and look at the profile. Yeah.
All right. From Bob, that should be a poll question. What is your plan? When are you going and how? It's gonna be a club tour or what?
I like that, Bob. I think we did something somewhat similar to that once, but I like that. We should do that again, because that's a great question. What's your vehicle? What are you going to use, right? And when do you think you're going to go? I love that. Yeah. Kurt, next week, we're going to do that as a poll question again. We're going to get that out there and see what they think. I think that's a great poll question.
From McKissick, how does a woman respond to prenuptial agreements?
I don't know, Dina. How do women respond to
We
prenuptial
actually had
agreements?
it, remember, for poll question.
Yeah, we did.
Everybody's different, but just advise to you, just don't give it to her before your wedding. So talk to her when you're in a relationship with her ahead. So, and I think she'll be okay. Now they see it in the movies, and so depend if it's fair agreement. So she'll be okay with that.
I think so. You know, it's funny because in places like Eastern Europe and a lot of other places around the world, prenuptial agreements are not very common, right?
Yes.
I mean, in Russia, you growing up, did you ever hear of a prenuptial agreement much?
No, because we didn't have really much. I mean,
Right.
what
so,
we're going to,
yeah,
share.
It wasn't very common, and still really isn't that common. However, here it is very common, and so if you explain it to the woman properly and give her plenty of time and do it properly, then it really isn't that big of a deal. At first, there might be someone, wait a minute, what do you mean? You don't trust me? You're going to marry me. How do you not trust me? So you get a little bit of that sometimes, but
Yeah.
you know, if you're patient and you explain that it's for everyone's best case, in case, God forbid, the worst can possibly happen, and then everyone will know what will happen, so that there won't be any, issues down the road. If you explain it that way, it usually works pretty well, I think, and you should be okay. All right.
From Alec, if I sign up for a social, can I provide my own airline tickets?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you have to. You must.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. I think we're maybe misunderstanding that.
Yeah, you have to book your own airfare.
Yeah, even if you're going on a
Okay.
group tour, you're going to be providing your own airline tickets. So I'm not sure what you mean by
I think
the
you mean
social.
just for social, if you go just for social.
Huh?
So even if you go on a tour, you'll have to get your own airline tickets. So either way. From Jesse, tonight is great information on writing the ladies. Thank you. In the past, I have not written ladies with a small child, but I am rethinking that I should be reading these ladies instead. Oops. I'm seriously seeking a bride, but I want a lady that is ready for marriage and a very comfortable life together. What do you think? Should I or not? I have joint custody for a 10-year-old son.
So we did.
So I think it's okay. I mean, it's good that you change your mind. A lot of good ladies with a kid there, with a kid already there. So yeah, I think just if it's small kid, it'll be easier. If it's like teenager, it'll be much harder. But you can do it. If the child see you really, you like his mom or her mom, so he'll be okay. So.
I think so too. I think when a woman has a child, I think that she is forced to be a little bit more mature, a little bit more grown up, a little more thinking about what life is going to be for her and her child. It's not just her, right? And so, to me, that might be a little bit better for some people, that she is really looking for a serious man, someone that's going to be able to take care of not just her, but her child as well. And that's really important. And so, yeah, I think excluding women with children is a mistake. So, if it's the right woman for you and she has a child, well then, that may just be a blessing down the road. I know it was for me. And I know so many others that went through it and are very, very happy they did. I think Dean is right. As the child gets older, especially in the teenage years, it can be more difficult. Not always. I've seen some that worked really well, and I've seen some where it hasn't. And part of that is because, almost always, it's because the man and the woman are not on the same page as how they're going to raise the child, especially when the child's older. Because the child obviously knows that you're not the biological father, and if the mother is not totally behind you, you have a united front when there's discipline to be done, then you can easily have like 2 against 1, and you become the one as the father. Is not good. So that's really, really important to talk to your fiance or talk to the woman you're very interested in about how she parents, and make sure that you're both on the same page about how you would discipline the child, how you would bring up the child, so that when you get here, if the child wants to stay up till 2 in the morning playing video games when he's 14 instead of going to school, and that's not okay, then you both say it's not okay. Because I know one case where the stepfather basically was saying, no, that's not okay, you need to go to school. And the mother said, oh no, it's okay, you can stay up till 3 in the morning playing video games. And that did not go well. That marriage ended up in a divorce because they were not on the same page when it came to parenting and what was important. I mean, that parent would let the child stay home and play video games instead of go to school. See, I couldn't do that. I wouldn't. That to me is not good parenting, and to that father, it wasn't good parenting, and that caused problems. I mean, does that make sense?
Yes, yes. And Jesse, I think you'll be okay. You have a 10-year-old son, so you did good so far. So
Yeah.
I think you'll be okay. You have a lot of experience. So from Mark, is it a good idea to space out the dates if you are doing 3 dates a day? So
Oh, to space out the dates. Yeah. I thought you meant to space out one of the dates and not go on it. Well, yeah, I'll just space that out. But you mean to space them out so it puts several hours in
Absolutely.
between?
yes.
As much time as you can in between them, because for 2 reasons. Number one, if it's going really well, like your first date
Yeah.
with AJ, you want
Yeah,
to have
you
enough
wanna
time to
talk.
really follow up with that instead of having to rush to your next date. And number two, you're going to be tired. If you're not used to doing, some of you guys haven't done 3 dates in 6 months. And if you're not used to doing 3 dates a day, every day, trust me, you're going to be tired. It's work. I mean, you're out there, you're talking, you're moving, you're doing this, and you're putting a lot of energy out there. And you need to be able to recharge your batteries a little bit. And you might need a little, power nap in between some dates just to get yourself back going again to be ready for the next day. You got to be on. So give yourself a little time. I mean, you
Yes,
think?
yes, absolutely. From Alec, okay, what is it provided in the packages that we pay for? What is included with the price?
Okay. Well, it depends on what package you're talking about, right? But if you are talking about the group tour, let's take a look at the group tour really, really quickly here. And with a group tour, let's say a group tour to Europe, all right, for instance. So what's included with the group tour? And if we go to the screen, you'll see, right? So you have the socials, right? And you're going to have, on the European tours, you're going to have at least 2, if not 3 socials. You're going to have them in different cities on one tour. Like the one we just did. You had a social in Kiev, and you had a social in Odessa. And then you're going to have the unlimited introductions, right? Via the hospitality suite. And then obviously the hotel accommodations are going to be included with a free daily breakfast. And the breakfasts are pretty good, right? They're
Yes.
Not bad over there.
Yes.
And the hotels are nice. And then the transport from the airport to the hotel, and then all the AFA events. And that means for European tours, at least, different cities even. So you might be on a 5 or 6 hour chartered bus or a train to go from the different cities that we go to. In Asia and Latin America, your tours are going to have all 2 socials, and they'll be in that one city, right? So like for Costa Rica, we go to San Jose, and you're going to have 2 socials in San Jose, and the rest of the time is spent in San Jose dating the different women that you met. And that's how it is throughout Colombia, Costa Rica, Peru, China, Thailand, all the other places we go to. The only exception is in Eastern Europe when we go to the Ukraine and we do our socials in different cities. So that's just a little bit of a difference. And then of course we have a hotel area and orientation walking tours. We have a 3-hour guided tour of the city. We have a free 1-month platinum membership. We have a $50 express mail credit, free fiance visa kit. So you get all these things with the price of the tour, but so much more when you're there. I mean, there's so much support that goes on, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
I mean, it's pretty amazing what you get. So hopefully that answers your question.
From Joseph, is it better to get married in Ukraine and then apply for visa? Depend. I think it's better to have a wedding there because she will have all her family join the wedding. So that's only, I think, only the positive out of that visa. I think it's called wife visa?
Spousal visa.
Spousal visa, yeah.
K3, yeah.
Yes, but it will get longer because she will get not only visa to America, she will get a green card too. So it will take probably 2 years. I think it's around about 2 years.
I don't think, yeah, maybe that long. It's longer than the fiance visa, right? To get the fiance visa if you do the spousal visa.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And you're already married, so she will go here like your wife. So if she doesn't like here, you will have to have a divorce. So I think that's a problem. And that K1's visa, fiancé visa, much better because she will have 90 days to decide if she want to stay here or not. If not, she'll just pack her bag and go home. You know, no problems.
90-day fiancé.
Yeah, and you can just apply for next fiancé visa without no problem. But if you're already married, oh my gosh, you'll have a divorce, and then in embassy they'll ask you why, and so you know. And it will take faster. Fiancé visa will take around 7 months. For me, it was 7 months. So it's much faster.
I totally agree with Dina, everything that she's saying. And the one point that Dina made about, you know, it's nice to be able to marry there because she could have the wedding with her friends and family.
Yes,
But
that's
you know-
only, I think it's a good thing out of
Yeah.
that visa.
But you know, you can still do that, Dina, without making it legal, right? So you could do all the pomp and circumstance and go to all the different shrines that they go to, and they drink the champagne and break the glasses at all the different little sites they go to, right? That's what they do
Yes.
in Russia or Ukraine. You can still do that. Just make sure it's not legal, right? Don't sign the papers. Don't get a real priest. Get one of your buddies to sign up, you know, and pretend like you're doing it. And then when you get here, you could have the real wedding at the courthouse. Or you could have the real wedding here at the courthouse, and once she gets her provisional green card, she can go back, and then you can do another wedding there. But I think Dina's right. You want that 90 days. You want that opportunity to make sure that everyone's happy, everyone's on the same
Yes,
page,
yes.
what life is really like. So I would suggest a K1 visa, the fiancé visa, over the spousal visa too. All right.
So from David, how are the tours to St. Petersburg arranged?
We don't do group tours to St. Petersburg any longer. So the only way to do some kind of a tour to St. Petersburg would be our individual club. So you could do a Euro club to St. Petersburg, where you would give us a list of women, you would go there, you would do your own lodging, we would advise you where to stay so you're close to the office, and then you could do up to 3 introductions a day, every day. That's how the club works, right? So there's no other group there, there's no other socials or anything like that. It's called the Euro Club. You could read about it on the site, but that works in St. Petersburg. But we don't do the group tour there anymore because all the dynamics pretty much changed. So we are mainly in the Ukraine now when it comes to Eastern Europe. And what's nice about that is you don't need a visa to go to the Ukraine, whereas you still need a visa to go to Russia. So a lot of guys would just prefer to go to Ukraine.
From Austin, hi there, John and Zina. I'm 44 and have been keeping my search between 29 and up. For the ladies, I'm interested in the Ukraine. I'm just wanting to make sure there's a within the appropriate age difference. I think you mean age differences. I do have children, and it would be okay for me to have more naturally born children if she wants or not. If she's also not want more. Thanks. I think it's a perfect. That's perfect. She probably will want kids because if she's 29 and up, yes, till she's 40 years old, she will probably want kids if she doesn't have any. Yeah, that's a perfect age difference.
Yeah, I agree. Dina, let's go ahead and look at the clip. So we just had a recent marriage by one of our couples in Odessa, Ukraine. And they were kind enough to actually allow us to film it, and they were going to share it with you because they know how difficult it is for so many people, both men and women, to actually avail themselves of this opportunity. And they just want to let you know that, hey, this can work. This does work. And we're living proof of it. And I'm really happy for both of them. And we just wanted to share with you their story.
I've been here 6 times, and this is kind of going to be my last trip. When the tour was over, you guys said, "No, one more woman we'd like you to meet."
So guys, it seems that we are gonna, we had a little bit of a technical issue with that wonderful, beautiful video. And we're gonna show it next week. The problem was the audio was, I don't know, there was some kind of problem with the audio, but they can fix it and they will fix it. And we will show you the video in its entirety next week. I'm really sorry about that. I was really looking forward to seeing that. But they know what the problem was and they can fix it, but we just can't do it in the next 5 minutes. So we will show it next week. But you know, it's really neat when you see something like that. You got a little glimpse of what was going on there. And you know, I never get tired of seeing these. We've had so many weddings throughout the last 24 years. In another couple of months, it's going to be 25 years,
Yay.
a quarter of a century that we've been doing this. And there's been so many weddings, including mine, yours, so many that have come from this, and it's great, and I never get tired of it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the clip here next week. It'll probably be you and Anna that will be on the show showing it, but that's fine. So guys, yeah, we'll do that next week. We'll finish up with some questions here, though. So let's keep going.
Okay, from Coaster, thank you, John and Zina. I'm going to Davao to meet them. Good to hear there is a little buffer than for the age difference.
Oh yeah, so you were the one asking about, yeah, you're gonna be fine in Davao, and yeah, don't worry about that. You'll be just fine. The women there are so wonderful. And you know, you may, since you're gonna be going to Davao, you may wanna tune in next Wednesday because we'll be doing another Philippine only type call. And Rana will be leading that call. She is from the Philippines, and she does a great job of that. So she'll be talking about all things Philippine, and she's basically from the Davao area, so she'll be able to give you a lot of good advice if you have any specific questions about where to go, what to see, what to do, all that kind of cool stuff in Davao. You know, it's funny, we had a gentleman who came into the office today, signed up for the January Davao tour. He'd been there now, in the last year, he's been there 3 times on his own. He just went on his own through other sites. He'd meet like one woman on a website somewhere. He'd fly out halfway around the world. And it's a long flight to get to the Philippines. He would fly halfway around the world to go meet her. And disaster. He told me the 3 different trips, the 3 different stories, and it was disaster, disaster, disaster. And I'm like, why would you do that to yourselves? I mean, you went halfway around the world to meet just one person. And the stories he was telling me, it was like, oh my gosh, you have to go on the tour. It's going to be so much better. You'll have so much more support, number 1. You'll have so much more opportunity, number 2, with all the different women that you're meeting, that there's just absolutely no reason to fly halfway around the world to meet one person. And we really, really advise against that, whether it's even on our site or not. These women were not even from our site. He just found us here recently. He's like, oh, I wish I would have seen this about 10 months ago. I would have saved about $10,000. I'm like, yeah, but you can't go backwards, so we just got to go forward. But yeah, and you know, it's all about numbers. It's all about opportunity, and there's nobody else that does it better. All right, next question.
From Steve, can you split a Euro Club between 2 cities, Kiev and Odessa?
No, just kidding. I love saying that. Yeah, you can actually, but they will charge you an extra $200 to do that. So if you're going to split it, that's fine, but they will charge you the extra $200 because obviously now you are involving 2 different offices, and we got to take care of everybody and the staff that's going to be working with you and all that. So there is a little bit of an extra charge for that, but not much really when you think about it. Now you can go to Kyiv and Odessa. So yeah, not a big deal, but yeah, we can do that for you, no problem.
All right, from Neil, can a woman a long way from any Ukraine office ask for my info profile? 1,000 kilometers trip to an office is a little too much. Can anything be sent to her email after she has received the letter from me? Cheers, Neil.
Can a woman a long way from any Ukraine office ask for my info profile? 1,000-kilometer trip to an office is a little bit much. Yeah, Neil, you know, if you're corresponding with someone who is like in Siberia or someplace that we don't have an office, and you want to try and meet her or, you know, get the contact or something like that, call us and we'll work with you and figure out a way to do that. We do this all the time, so we can help you with that. You're right, she's not going to go 1,000 miles to Kyiv to see your profile, so, but we can work that out. So yeah, that's not a problem.
All right. From Vito, when you receive so many letters, you try to think of how to separate the better choices for you. How much value would put in an astrological sign you see in a bios?
Bios, yeah.
Bios.
Astrological, the Leo or the Capricorn. What do you think about that, Dina?
No, I'm strongly believe in it.
Do you strongly believe in it?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Dina puts a lot of emphasis in it. Okay.
Yeah. But of course, you have to separate. I think you need to really decide for you, what age you're looking at. So if you're 50 years old, don't look at 18s, or 20. Look like, don't give them more than a 20-year age difference. So put age difference only from 30 to and up. So I think that's the most important criteria is the age difference.
Yeah,
So-
I agree with that. I think the age is huge. Also, maybe children, no children, whether you're interested or not, that's going to be important. Some guys are really, smoking seems to be a deal breaker for a lot of guys, right? Oh, she can't be a smoker. So, there's a lot of different theories on that one. But Dina's right. You got to look and you got to think what's really important to you. What are the parameters that are really important to you? And then you kind of sort that way. But some guys, I'm telling you, Dina, some guys, astrological signs are extremely important. I mean, we'll get guys that are calling up and asking us the exact time that the woman was born so they could actually do the chart the
That's
right way.
actually, yes, the best one.
Right.
When you know time,
Yeah, so, you're really going deep when you go like that. But some guys swear by it, they believe in it, and it's funny because you look at different personalities and you see, I'm a Leo. Leos are supposed to be a little bit extroverted, and sometimes I am, but sometimes I'm not. It just depends how much Mountain Dew I had. All right.
All right, we have one more question from David. I'm 57, never married, no children. I live in rural southern Minnesota. Where is the best area to go to for ladies who would like a more small town lifestyle? The girl from small town, I think.
Southern Minnesota. I was wearing my Bemidji shirt today, just so you know. You probably know, not too many people know where Bemidji is, but my son played football there in his collegiate career up there in Bemidji. That's northern Minnesota, but I'm sure you probably know where that is. So, 57, never married. There's an interesting stat about that, I will tell you, Neil. So,
No,
if you
David.
are,
That's
who
from
is this?
David.
From David?
Mhm,
Okay.
Just jumped a little.
So, David, do you know that if you are over the age of 50, living in the United States, and have never been married, do you know what your odds are of getting married? I saw this stat a couple years ago. Less than 1%.
Oh my God, really?
Think about that. Less than 1% is what they say are your odds of getting married if you've never been married by the time you hit 50. Now, that might be because a lot of guys that haven't been married by the time they're 50 don't want to be married, right? And so maybe they're just not trying. And part of it is, and I tell this to guys all the time, this doesn't get any easier as you get older, right? It just doesn't. It gets harder. And as you get older, it just gets harder and harder to find that right person. That's just how it is. I see it. I've been in this business now for a quarter of a century. Well, I could say that in another month, but 24 years. And it just does get harder. So, okay, well, that's just an aside. But if you actually go over and you expand the population of women that you're choosing from, right, then I think that 1% number goes way up, right? I think we're getting a lot closer to, 20, 30% at least, because now the population is totally different than what you were dealing with in southern Minnesota. Especially if you're just dealing with southern Minnesota, it's going to be really tough, right? If you expand that search out to include the western United States, then it's going to be a little bit better. If you expand it out to include the United States on some of the domestic websites, it gets even better, right? So imagine what happens when you expand it out to include the world, basically, right? It gets way better, the chances of finding that right person, and that's kind of what we allow you to do. So, where to go? Well, Dina's right, a smaller city.
Yeah, I think in April we'll have a great tour to Dnipro, Zaporozhye, and I heard the girls, they're very nice and they're like really down to earth. So if you want a European girl, if you want a Filipino girl, they're all from small town, right? They're like
Pretty
most
much. I mean,
most of them
well,
from
unless you go
their
to the middle of Manila. But I mean, if
villages.
you're in Cebu or Davao, yeah, I think that that's fine there too. You know, Nikolaev, Kherson
Yeah.
in Eastern Europe, those are fine. Yeah, it just depends. And even women in larger cities can be fine with small towns. One of my wife's really good friends moved to a tiny, tiny little town in northern Michigan. And my wife, she was from St. Petersburg. She was extremely cultured. Never, ever pictured her in a town of about maybe 3,000 people in northern Michigan, with about the only restaurant was a Bob's Big Boy. But you know what? She loved the man. She moved there. She adapted really, really well. And 20 some years later, they're still married and doing great. So it just really depends.
And you guys thinking that your small town, oh my gosh, such small town. But for her, it might be not small town. You guys have a nice roads. You can get anywhere by car. So, and Walmart is everywhere. Oh my gosh. In Alaska, nowhere. Walmart, Target. Oh my gosh. It really, you know.
That's right. Dina goes to Alaska. They have a place up there.
Nowhere is Walmart. So guys, I don't think it's really, really far away you live. So I think she'll be fine. So what's the next? From Neil, I think, John, the city I refer to is Lviv, where no office or church.
Okay,
is
we can
near.
certainly help you in Lviv. So you need to just call back in, and we can tomorrow or whenever, and we can certainly figure that out. Not a problem. That's Western Ukraine, but yeah, we can definitely help. One little tip about the women from Lviv is that, and you probably know this, is that they really like to speak Ukrainian and not so much Russian, because it's very West. And so it's a little bit of a different political mindset when you get to the Western Ukraine as opposed to Eastern Ukraine, where everyone still speaks Russian and they're okay with it. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
still great girls there.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
From Coaster, I have to leave now, but a big thank you to John, Dina. I learned a lot today. Looking forward to the Philippines chat soon. Yep.
Fantastic.
Thank you. From Mark, Dina, what is a good restaurant option for a first date? So it has to be really quiet place. You guys need to talk, so it needs to be a quiet place. That's only I think about option. I don't know names there in Ukraine. What do you think, John? Do you know names?
I don't know
nice,
where he's
romantic
going, what city.
place.
What I would do is I would ask the
It's
staff.
Ukrainian because he
Ukrainian,
asked
probably,
me.
yeah. I would ask the staff when you get there. You know what's really cool is that we give you a list of restaurants when you get there that you go to. We give you prices. There's some restaurants that can play games with foreigners and charge them more than they should and that kind of stuff. And so we tell you which ones are those and to stay away from them, because there can be, especially in the Ukraine, it doesn't really happen too many other places, but in the Ukraine, in some cities, it can happen. And so we're really good about watching that and making sure that if there are any problems, that we're right there to help the clients. And we have helped several clients avoid any kind of issues like that, because they'll just try to take advantage of foreigners in general. And so you got to be careful about that, but not a big deal. So we help you try to choose the right kind of restaurant, like Dina's saying, someplace that's going to be quiet, somewhat romantic, just so you can talk, because that's what this is all about, getting to know each other. But we also don't want you to have any issues or problems while you're there either. So we watch out for that really well as well. Our staff does an amazing job. I've seen them go so far and above the call of duty to help clients when they weren't even really our clients, even just men, foreign men there in general, that are having problems, and they help them. Because they care and they just didn't want to see someone getting taken advantage of, and I think that's fantastic. All right.
From McKissick, do the odds of marriage improve if you're dating internationally?
Heck yeah. We just talked about that, right? I mean, of
Yes.
course they're going to improve. You just opened up the whole world, right? Why wouldn't they? Of course they're going to improve, and they're dealing with different cultures and everything. Guys, it's an amazing opportunity. And once you go and you see the opportunity, you know, of course there's going to be good, bad, and ugly. There always is, no matter where you go, no matter what dating site you go to. But the opportunity that you have in all these different countries, whether it's China or Colombia or Costa Rica or Ukraine, it's amazing. It really is. And you come back after you've gone to one of these things, you're like, oh my gosh, I never knew this world existed. I never knew I had so much opportunity. And your whole mindset changes, so that when you're dating here in the States, you have a totally different attitude. It's not the same as it was before, because you know what your options are now. You know you have other options. And all of a sudden you're like, huh, well, now, you know,
Yeah.
it's a little different, right?
Yeah, I'm agree. Absolutely. So from Mark, so many beautiful girls been scammed by Phil girls many times. Once we engaged and sent mail. Do these girls get paid if they receive mail? Thanks.
No, we don't pay the girls to receive mail. We don't pay the girls to go to the socials or anything like that. And if you ever think that that's happening on any site, including ours, you should call the site, talk to them about it, and they should be proactive and figure out exactly what's going on, because if that ever is happening, it shouldn't be happening, and then they need to take care of it. So definitely, just let us know if you ever think that's a problem here, or if you see that being a problem on any other site, because, you know, like I said, there's always going to be good, bad, and ugly. You're always going to have people that are going to break the rules and things like that. But it's just a matter of being able to identify it and deal with it, and then move on and find that woman who's going to be right for you, right? So, yeah. All right.
From Neil, and how, now I can speak near fluent Russian. Not going to do this Ukrainian language. Thanks, buddy Neil.
You don't need to do the Ukrainian. Look, even if you go to Lviv, Western Ukraine, and you speak Russian and you're an American, they're going to really appreciate the fact that you took the time to learn it, and they're not going to get political on you and say, no, you'll have to speak Ukrainian. You know, you might want to try a couple little Ukrainian phrases, which are really close to Russian, right? I mean, Ukrainian
Yes,
and Russian are
yes, she'll
kinda-
understand
yeah.
you. Yeah, if you speak Russian, she'll understand.
It's kind of like Portuguese and Spanish. It's very similar, but different. So, yeah. All right, guys.
Right.
Well, I think that we are going over time again. I always do that, and I get the nasty letter in the morning, and they threaten to fire me, and that's why they pushed me off the show, actually. I'm not even allowed to come on anymore because these guys are taking
Yeah.
over. But they do such a better job. I mean, Dina and Anna and Joe, when Joe's here. I guess you and Joe did the show last week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Joe's great.
No, Joe did by himself, but
Oh,
week
Joe did by-
before we did together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Joe does a great job too. Joe will be doing the April tour coming up, by the way, guys, for those of you that are, and that's the one that you just mentioned, going to Nep and Zap,
Yes.
all right? So
Yeah.
he'll be leading
That's
that
a
one.
wonderful tour, guys.
I think I'll be leading
In wonderful
the one.
months, April, nice weather,
Oh.
spring in the air, so
Yeah.
that's going to be beautiful there.
It's a shoulder season. It's really great.
Yeah.
And I believe I'll be leading the one in January, going over to Kiev and Odessa. But this, you know, whoever the tour leader is, you know, the staff over there does a great job, and you're there to meet the women, and it needs to be seamless, which it is, and you just go, and your biggest job is who you're going to be dating, what you're going to be doing. That's what you're going to be thinking about, not where to change the money or where to do this or that. We take care of all that for you. All right, guys. Well, until next week, Dana, thank you so much again for sharing all your
Thank you,
wisdom
John,
with us.
for being here with us
See, I'm the
today.
guest today. Yes, I'm the guest on Dina's show. So it was a pleasure being here, Dina. You know, I
Nice.
learned a lot from the things that you
yeah.
said, so thank you.
Enjoy.
Yes, yeah. I don't get to be here very often.
yeah.
All right, guys. So until next time, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Good night.